all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
In my family, we strive to be responsible in order to ensure the well-being of our family. In the same way, I encourage my family to vote because it's their responsibility to do so as citizens.
That's right. It is our responsibility to elect our leaders without influence from our families or anyone else.
You have the right to vote. Use it.
We will vote. Will you?
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Your Jungle.
You are watching the Prime TV main news. Thank you so much for your time to join us on the desk. My name is Kalan Muchima to present it. A look at the headlines. PF and UPND cadres clash at Useko Market. Edgar Lungu maintains that he will not use public resources in PF campaigns. GBM likely to announce his next political move on Monday. And foreign news, Air Asia flight with 162 people missing. Those are the headlines. Join me shortly for the news in detail. Thank you for joining us once again. And now the news in detail. Patriotic Front PF cadres scampered in different directions after they clashed with UPND supporters at Buseko Market in Lusaka. The PF cadres planned to disrupt the UPND organized tour of the market when they were met with force by UPND members. Commotion started when the PF cadres marched towards the UPND supporters at the market in an effort to cause disturbances to a UPND function. But when the PF cadres advanced towards the UPND supporters, they could not withstand the force of UPND supporters and later decided to abort. One PF cadre was captured by UPND supporters and was taken to the police after he was suspected to have beaten a UPND supporter.
PF cadres ran for their lives at Buseko Market after they were overpowered by UPND supporters. The PF cadres attempted to disrupt the UPND function at the market. The PF cadres provoked the situation when they marched towards UPND cadres who were having a function at the Buseko Market. This infuriated UPND supporters and approached the PF cadres with force, but after realizing that they would be overpowered, the PF cadres decided to run. One UPND supporter was, however, beaten on the hand by a PF cadre, but luckily he was captured by the UPND supporters and was later taken to the police station. It is common that cadres get in trouble over their political leaders who many times don't even fight but spend their time talking. Reporting for Prime TV News, Daniel Tonga, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Mutinta Hichilema, the wife to UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema, has toured several markets in Matero constituency with an aim of listening to the problems being faced by the marketeers. Mrs. Hichilema says it is worrying to note that after being promised so many things by PF, all the markets were still in a deplorable state. She says it will be a big mistake for people to vote for the PF again because they have failed to keep their promises. Mrs. Hakainde stressed that people have noticed that PF has failed and now have decided to vote for UPND for a change. She said this when she and other UPND officials toured Ilanda, Buseko Market, Matero and other markets in Lusaka.
The wife of UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema, Miss Mutinta Hichilema, today took time to visit several markets in Matero constituency. The aim of the visit was to listen to the problems of marketeers and also interact with them at a personal level. Mrs. Hichilema made several stops to listen to the people and spend time also to purchase items from the markets. Arriving at Matero Market, she was received by many people, and it was here that MMD members also defected to UPND. Speaking on behalf of the defectors, MMD Lusaka chairperson Grace Chifube says UPND is the only party that has shown direction.
This matter is about numbers. Yes. UPND is not the only political party. Why Tasanka UPND setonza wamene maona? Yes. Taisanga chifuwa taona kuti UPND is in the future for the people.
And Mrs. Hichilema told the people that time has come for them to change and improve their lives by voting for the UPND.
Election is about that bag of minimum we buy at 80,000 kwacha. Kunga tikuna bukachipe. Nanga muzachipa kwanji unga. Muzachipa bakozi bahaganje nibalimi.
The tour by Mrs. Hichilema brought business to a halt in Matero constituency as many people wanted to see her. Reporting for Prime TV News, Daniel Tonga, Lusaka.
That is Mrs. Hichilema and not Mrs. Hakainde. Forum for Democracy and Development FDD President Edith Nawakwi has advised women to stop looking at politics as a dirty game. Ms. Nawakwi says there is need for women to look at politics as a way to change the country for the better. She says leadership is provided even in the Bible, hence women should stop shunning politics as that is the only way they can liberate themselves. Ms. Nawakwi has commended the work being done by the Catholic Women's League in helping the communities across the country. She notes that if many women were in political leadership, such as councillors and members of parliament, cases of illegal land allocation and other immoral vices associated with politics would be reduced. Charged that former Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Mtalena Lumango, should have taken over as the Speaker after Amusa Mwanamwambwa. Ms. Nawakwi explains that she had hoped that after the change in 2011, there would have been a female speaker in the House. She notes that having a female speaker would have helped the women's cause in the country, as she would have used her position to speak for women. Ms. Nawakwi says it is important that even a president should use his prerogative to appoint women as MPs to increase women representation in Parliament. She says this during the fundraising breakfast for St. Lawrence Orphanage of Mississippi Compound, Charleston Catholic Women's League in Lusaka. Former UPND Information and Publicity Secretary Watson Mwemba has urged all political parties vying for the top job in the January 20th presidential election to create a conducive environment for all to participate. Mr. Mwemba says each party has the right to campaign around the country, hence no one should block in person. He says campaigns on tribal grounds should not be tolerated, but candidates should encourage issue-based campaigns with the people's interest as their core focus. Mr. Mwemba has further cautioned the UPND and the PF to desist from being overconfident in scoping the presidency, saying the last vote from the people should be able to determine the winner. He was speaking to Prime TV News in an interview. We go for a break. Join me shortly for more news just after this.
Yeah, madam, nisiriza manze.
No problem. It's very busy here.
Yeah, your sister, pamangala busy. Since you wanna kuziwa kapena nzaka vota kwa presidential elections.
Huh? Don't tell me. You can't afford to miss out on your right to vote. Elections are a time for you to choose a leader of your choice.
Your boy, Suzy, but voting is important.
You need to vote if you want to put a leader of your choice in power.
Oh, okay. But for many makamba for panga sense. Anyway, since 14 maningi time, your car is ready.
Zikomo, the car looks great. I'll bring it here again for another wash.
No problem. As long as it is not on 20th January, because I'll be voting.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Voters whose card.
Now for the rest of the news. Ruling PF President Edgar Lungu will tomorrow fly to Northern Province for his scheduled campaign programs. Mr. Lungu has since insisted that no public facilities or public resources will be used in this campaign. He says that his party should raise its own resources and make all arrangements for his travels and campaigns. Mr. Lungu says you offer campaigns that comply with all the electoral regulations, urging party officials and supporters to remain peaceful despite all the provocation that emanates from innuendos and insults directed at the party and his candidature. He said this in a statement released to the media through PF presidential campaign spokesperson Harry Kalaba. Mr. Lungu is expected to land at Samora Machel International Airport at about 09 hours and later expected to go by helicopter to Kaputa and in Sama districts to hold his public meetings. Political activist Dante Saunders says Barrick Gold Corporation's intentions to put the mine on care and maintenance was expected. Mr. Saunders says the anticipated loss of close to 2,500 jobs at the mine is an indication of how incompetent the PF government is in running national affairs. He says overheads and operation costs in the mining sector have continued to escalate despite the recent increase in mineral royalty tax from 6 to 20%. Mr. Saunders says voting the PF regime back in office will be a disservice to the Zambian people and will regret ever doing that to themselves. Barrick Gold has announced that it intends to halt its operations in Zambia due to bad mining policies introduced by government. The PF government recently increased mineral royalty tax from 6% to 20%. Moving on, Kasama Central PF Member of Parliament Geoffrey Walyamwamba, popularly known as GBM, is on Monday expected to hold a press briefing. Details of the briefing are not yet known, but he is expected to outline his next political move. Sources have told Prime TV News that the press briefing will be held at his Kasama residence at about 10 hours. Mr. Mwamba has in the recent weeks indicated that he will soon announce which political party and presidential candidate he will be backing. The Kasama lawmaker failed to show up at a rally which was being addressed by PF President Edgar Lungu in Kasama recently. We go for another break. Join me for international sports stories.
Have you lost your voter's card? Is your voter's card defaced or damaged? If so, you can replace your voter's card during the voters card replacement exercise from the 28th of December 2014 to the 3rd of January 2015. During this exercise, 4 rural centers will be opened in every rural constituency and 3 centers will be opened in every urban constituency. Voters who have lost their cards will need to present a police report and their green national registration card in order to collect a new voter's card. Voters whose cards are defaced or damaged will have to produce the damaged card and their green national registration card before a new card can be issued to them. During this exercise, no new voters will be registered and no transfers will be effected for voters that have moved to a different location. Furthermore, the Commission will not extend the voter card replacement exercise beyond January the 3rd, 2015.
For further information, contact the office of the district electoral officer in your respective districts who are town clerks and council secretaries. Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015 starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
And now international news and sports. An Air Asia flight from Surabaya, Indonesia to Singapore has lost contact with air traffic control. After takeoff, the airline has said as search and rescue operations get underway. Air Asia, a regional low-cost carrier with a presence in several Southeast Asian countries, said in a statement that the missing plane was an Airbus A320-200 with 162 people on board and was supposed to land in Singapore at 8:30 a.m. local time on Sunday. Flight QZ8501 was carrying 157 Indonesians, 1 Singaporean national, 1 Malaysian, and 3 Koreans. The airline said in a statement, 16 children and 1 infant were among the passengers. The aircraft requested for a different route due to poor weather before communication was lost over Indonesian airspace. A highly sought-after Al-Shabaab leader with a $3 million bolt on his head has surrendered to government and African Union forces, a Somali intelligence officer has said. Zakaria Ishmael Ahmed Hezi surrendered to Somali police in the Gedo region, where Somalia borders Kenya and Ethiopia, the officer said. An Al-Shabaab media spokesman told Al Jazeera that Hezi had left the group 2 years ago and that he was then a mid-level commander, not an intelligence chief as claimed by Somali forces. Military official Muhammad Osmel said Hezi was hiding in a house in a border town and made contact with government officials in order to hand himself in. Another intelligence source said the surrender was believed to have been motivated by a series of recent bloody splits and purges within the group. And finally, in sports news, Sports Minister Chimba Kambwili says government will not recognize the Samuel Matete-led executive that was elected on Saturday through a parallel conference at the Mulungushi International Conference Center. Kambwili has further warned Matete and his executive of facing a life ban from the sport if they continue bringing what he termed as anarchy. He pointed out that as far as government was concerned, Elias Mpondela was still the president of the Zambia Amateur Athletics Association, ZANG. The Samuel Matete faction held a parallel annual general meeting at Mulungushi International Conference Center in Lusaka, where the former world 400 meters hurdles champion was elected interim president. And that sporting item wraps up our news for this evening. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines once again. PF and UPND cadres clash at Buseko Market. Edgar Lungu maintains that he will not use public resources in PF campaigns. GBM likely to announce his next political move on Monday. And in foreign news, Air Asia flight with 162 people missing. That's the end of the news. But for these and other stories, you can visit us on www.ptvzambia.com. My name is Kalan Michimo. On behalf of everyone else, God bless you, and of course, happy 2015.
Hi, I was just checking up some information on the Electoral Commission of Zambia website. Did you know that the Electoral Commission of Zambia has set January 20th, 2015 as the date for the presidential election? Remember that in order to vote, you'll need your green national registration card and your voter's card. Voting is the constitutional right of every Zambian citizen. Exercise your right by voting for the presidential candidate of your choice on January 20th, 2015.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.